What's up, team? Welcome to Unfiltered with Dave Letele. This is our first episode, and our first guest is none other than my good friend, Manu Vatuvei. I should say the Beast, or Manu 2.0. It was an amazing conversation from Manu that you would never have heard before. Vulnerable, raw and honest. He opens up about everything. And Manu's journey is unbelievable. Starting from the bottom, rising to the very top, in the Warriors, the Kiwis, Tongan team, and then watching his demise, watching him on Instagram and doing these things and the downfall, seeing him on the news, and you're just thinking, man, how did this happen? How did someone like this, a hero, at the top of his game, to a prison cell? But I hope that you leave with more understanding of what Manu went through and what so many people are going through. And I hope people watching this can understand no matter what you've gone through, and you might be going through tough times right now, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there are people out there that can help you. So be sure to share this out. This conversation is next level. Unfiltered with Dave Letele, my first guest, Manu Vatuvei. Manu, thank you for joining me, brother.
Sure, brother.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad.
How you feeling?
Yeah, good. Bit nervous, but yeah.
Oh, you won't get nervous by
I'm
these
always
anymore.
nervous, brother. I'm always nervous.
You're a professional speaker nowadays.
Hey, every speech, I'm always nervous. No matter if I was playing or not, I'm always nervous.
We done a speech together a couple of weeks ago at this event, and at that standing ovation. And it was funny because, you know, we didn't organise anything, no prep, and sort of got there. And how did that feel? I know you were a bit nervous when you heard everyone talking about how good the last speaker was.
Yeah, we were sitting in the waiting. We were having a coffee, and then other speaker was there, and they were talking how good he was and all this. I was like, oh, bro, how are we gonna do this? But you know, knowing you, doing all this and seeing you speak, I felt a bit more comfortable going into it, because I knew no matter what, it's gonna be good anyways, and I'll just have to fill in those little gaps.
So I look forward to. We'll talk more about it later, but man, being on the road with the Manu and Dave show. Actually, that's a good idea for a podcast, I reckon. The Manu and Dave show.
Road trip.
Yeah. So it's epic, bro. Man, it's been awesome, bro. It's been awesome this past year and a bit. Well, how long have you been with BBM now?
Over a year now. Over a year. Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised, like, you know, when I first gave you a message to see if I could come meet up with you for someone else. But then eventually, you know, it was more for me. Like we always say, God has a plan, and God puts us in a position for us to meet, and that was the place. So the first place was when you came inside, and then the second time was then. And that's where I count my blessings and never look back now.
So good. There's so much to talk about, but I just want to start at from the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood, brother, and the upbringing?
Yeah, so I grew up in Otara. Mum and dad. Dad came from Tonga in the late 70s, and then brought my mum and my brother and two sisters over from Tonga to live here. And then I was born in 86. First I was born in Kura, and then my mum said that I was transferred from Kura to Middlemore because I had to have a blood transfusion. So I count my blessings then to survive that. And then, my parents moved from Kura and moved into Otara, where I grew up my whole life. And my brother was lived a different life.
Yeah. That's
lived
horse,
a different
right?
life. Yeah, horse. I lived a different life, but, you know, when he was growing up, he was into his rugby, and me and my dad used to go watch him play, and he was mad. He was way better than me. You know, back in the days, after a game, people go into the pubs and drink, and then it just became something different for him, and started getting into fights. And he started getting into a lot of other stuff and got into prison, went into prison for a lot of things, violence and all different kinds. First time seeing him getting arrested was in Takanini at my uncle's house. Got a bit physical with his partner, and the cops came and arrested him, that's when I first cried, losing him. And then he was in and out of prison.
How old were you then?
I think I was only 6, I think, still young. He's 50 now, I'm 38, so.
Was that your first introduction to the police, to the system?
To the system, yeah, to see that. My brother getting arrested like that, yeah, that was the first time, so. Yeah, it was hard because he was my only brother. I've got 3 sisters, so for me to see that and not see him around as much, and then when he comes out, and then other things happen, and then he goes back in again. So I used to go visit him down at the Rock, Mount Eden, and yeah, I used to go see him. That's where I spent most of my time with him. So I never got to have that brother relationship as much as I wanted.
So he was the protector of your family as well?
Yeah, he was definitely the protector. I remember one time when I've seen him in many fights. There was one time there was a gang member next door. They were living next door to us, and he must have said something to my mum, and she was doing something in the garden, and all I heard my mum was scream and yell at my brother, and my brother came out of his little shed, jumped over the fence and just gave him a hiding. So, you know, he was that person that, you know, wanted to make sure that no one comes near my family. If anything happens, he'll put himself in the line for us. So, yeah.
See, he got involved in the gang life, but he was he tried his best to keep you out of that, right?
Yeah, he did. He gave me a hiding one time when I was talking back to my mum, disrespecting as islanders, we can't do that. He gave me the biggest hiding. And then he came back into my room and started crying. You know, he didn't want to. He just said, "Oh, bro, you're my only brother. I don't wanna hurt you or something. You know, I want you to go on a different path to where I am." He said one thing that always scared me. Like he said that, like, you know, if you ever go to prison, I'll come in there and kill you in there if you ever did. And that's what drew me away from it. But like, to be honest, every time I drank when I was a kid, I always drink in front of him. He always wanted to keep me safe because he knew that I wouldn't listen, and I'll do it behind everyone's back. At least he knew that I was safe, and that's what I did. Not proud of, like, you know, doing when I was young or smoking and stuff when I was young, but you know, that was the type of things because I see it all the time. You know, all the parties, all the people coming over, drinking and all that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I stuck with my sports, and my dad used to take me to sports. So that's why, you know, that's my let off sometimes when I did that. Yeah.
Sport, I mean, for so many of us, right, it seemed like the only way out of where we were and taking our family with us. Is that what it was for you? Was rugby league that for you?
Yeah, definitely. I've always wanted to be an All Black. You know, my whole family was a rugby freak, so we used to watch the Blues. Blues were our number 1 team. And then watching the All Blacks and, you know, seeing Jonah. You know, I used to follow Jonah all the time. If you went to Wellington, we went Wellington. Yeah. You know, counties, counties, Blues. So wherever he went, I was supporting him. So I've always looked up to him and see what he did, especially for his family. That's what drove me to try and get better in my game, to try and provide for my family. So, yeah.
When did you make the switch to rugby league?
I was doing athletics first.
Yep.
And then I played league straight after that. So when I was doing athletics, for Otahu. And then one of my mates that used to go primary school, his dad asked me to go and have a game with him at Otahu. And that's where I first started playing league.
Yeah.
And then when it came into college, I was going to make the switch to rugby. And then our deputy principal there, Mr. Ricky, passed away. He asked me if I could, he knew that I was playing league, and he asked me if I can play for Otawa. So that's when I moved down to Otawa and played there. I played with his son, and his son was really good. His son played really well, and he was the first one to go to Raiders out of all of us, development squad. But then he got injured, came back, and things changed for him when he came back. So yeah.
When did you, get on the Warriors radar?
I think when I was 15, 16, I think, and then I got picked up when I was 16, and then went into the Warriors. I think my last year of school, made the Warriors development squad. Back then was all Baraka team guys, so there was no under 20s, no nothing. So it was all guys that are older than me. And it was me and Frank Paul, so we were the two younger ones then. And then I just played there and got picked up, and then got my first part-time contract for the Warriors, and that was a day. My dad was still working in the 60s, and it was only my dad that was working and providing for us. So, and then my sister started working, but then she had her own family, so it was only my dad that was providing for me and my mum and my little sister. That day, when I got my first contract, I went over to my dad's work and told him that he can stop working now, and I'll help provide for the family now. So for myself at that age, I think I took a lot, but that was my job. I wanted to retire my dad, and that was a massive goal, because seeing what he was doing for his last job, I didn't like it. And his last job was he was cleaning the bins for the women's stuff. So it was I didn't like it. So yeah, worked even harder for it.
Oh, that moment. What was your dad's reaction? Must have felt amazing.
Yeah, my dad started crying, and then he just said, awesome work, because he used to take me to my trainings. Couldn't really afford like buying me boots and stuff, and you'll work hard to try and provide me with some boots. So knowing everything that he did for me was just special, like all the hard work that he put through. You know what I mean? So for me to do that, and for him to see what he's done has paid off. So now it's just down to me to put my foot forward and work hard.
How many games for the Warriors did you end up having?
I think 220 something games. Yeah. So I'm pretty gutted that I didn't make my 300. I know there was a lot of games that I missed due to injuries and stuff. But that was part of the sport, and I just count my blessings.
Yeah. The beast.
The beast.
But I've heard you speak. So I know sort of what was going on. When did things start getting tough for you? Because we're just watching you, at the top of your game on TV, really successful, and we think, man, this guy must be living the life. But when did things start unraveling?
I always put it to one game. That was a Parramatta game. But I think it went further than that. I think it's when I first bought my first house for my parents. That was hard. Because I wasn't getting much money, and then that's when I first just had my first child, and I was finding it tough. I was ODing my account, and my account was like OD 10 grand. So I was struggling. I was still going hard, trying to pay for the house, trying to keep up to date with it, and it was struggling then. But I didn't I wasn't too focused about it. I was just more focused on trying to play hard and get my games up. And then I just started getting my first contract and full time, and started getting a bit more money. So it started getting a little bit easier. So, but yeah, it took a lot out of me, but I got there.
It's always the dream, for to be able to buy your parents a house.
Yeah, that was one of me and my dad's first dreams. It was to buy him a house, and he's always put it in my head every time. So every time I play, that's what I thought about. And we finally got to do that. Moved out of our house that we grew up as little kids down in Otara into their own place. So that was a proud moment for myself. And I'll never forget it.
But it was just the pressure it placed on you.
Yeah, a lot of pressure placed on me. Understanding, or have to do this, I have to pay for the house, and then I have to look after my little family, and I have to like provide food and stuff, or whenever they need something, you know. So, but that was my duty, you know what I mean. I took that job off my dad, you know what I mean. So it was tough, but you know, I got through it.
And the Parramatta game.
Yeah, the Parramatta game. I think it was 2007. Parramatta game. I don't know what was going through my head. We had a game there, and I just had the worst game ever in my life. Dropped nearly every second ball that I got. Let in some tries, and just got scrutinised after that. But yeah, that's when I found it tough. Everyone's giving me shit every time. The media, every social media back then, you know, that I was on, I was just getting scrutinised from the fans, and I was just lucky that, you know, I didn't get all the emails that was sent to the club, because the ladies used to see all the emails, but they'll give me all the good ones, but they'll throw away all the bad ones. So it was hard. Ivan Cleary was real good. He was a coach then, one of the best coaches I ever had.
Yeah.
He knew my potential and what I was good at. He knew I just had a bad game. He just wanted me to take the week off and go and play reserve grade. And I think I was about to warm up to go and play reserve grade. And then he said, nah, don't play. I don't want you to play. Because I think he knew that if I ran out there, it was a curtain raiser for the Warriors game.
Yeah.
He knew people would like be, that's what I think. People would have been like giving me shit the whole game. So I think he just wanted me to have time off and just practice on my high balls before and after training. So every time I trained was just giving me high balls and kicks and stuff. So I started going from there. But I found it real tough because it was I was still young. I didn't know how to.
How young were you then?
I was only 21 then, so 2007, that was 21. So, and then, yeah, it was just hard, like, getting the criticism from everyone, because I wasn't used to it. So used to getting all the hype from everyone, and then when you have that one thing.
Sometimes people can be just so fucked, eh?
Yeah.
It's like, man, why are you being such assholes?
Yeah, I remember I had one of, I had my daughter, I missed her birth, and then I had to fly back home because I was in Wellington, I think. I had to fly back for the birth, but I missed it. I flew back the next day, and then had to decide whether to go back and play for the Kiwis or stay back and stay with them. But decided to go back. You know, that's where I have to provide for my family. So I went back and played, and one of the comments that I got is like, hope you don't drop the ball. I'll drop your baby like how you dropped the ball. And that was tough. Like,
It reminds me of a comment I got one time where someone said, I'm going to send you some rope to hang your family. And you just think,
yeah, no.
Why? Like,
I don't know what goes through people's mind. Or,
you know, how did that make you? I mean, to me, I felt like
straight away, I just wanted to like find that person and do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my first reaction. Mine is whenever something happens to my family, my first thing is to protect them and to like defend them. I don't care what happens to me, at least my family is protected. So that was the first thing that came to my head. But you know, being in the light and people see you, you can't act that way.
Yeah.
So you have to act a certain way, because you get scrutinised every time, and then it falls back to the club too. So it doesn't only affect me; it affects everyone else that's around me. So that's why I had to try and keep my cool every time.
Just the best payback is success.
Yeah,
just come back and keep playing good.
Yeah, definitely.
So you just really worked on your game?
Oh, every training session, the boys will kick me. I'll go out early. They will kick me all the high balls. Even the prop strider kicked me all the high balls. And I was like, bro, you don't kick, bro. But, you know, that's them trying to help me out. So, and then after training, same thing.
Yeah.
Do the same thing every time. That was me every day, just back to basics again. And that's what thing. And then, funny thing, I went back to Parramatta the following year and laid a nice little hat trick on them. So.
Yeah.
That felt real
Redemption.
good. Redemption, yeah, it was. Like, cause like when I ran out, everyone, the whole crowd was giving it to me.
Yeah.
Like just hearing everything from everyone. So it's always, and plus it's hard because I'm on the sideline.
Yeah.
So I'm playing on the wing.
Yeah.
Well,
You can hear
close to the
everything.
stands. So you hear everything. But I had to try and block it out every time. So
What's the worst thing you've heard from the sideline?
worst thing.
So we're
lots of
we're
F and
unfiltered.
F
We're
and F,
unfiltered
yes.
here.
Lots of Fs and lots of this and that. So when I was playing, I was so easy to block things out because I'm more focused on my job. I remember one game in Penrith. We were playing Penrith and the fans were giving me shit and I scored a try and I just turned back and I just walked back past them and I just gave them away. You know, and then I just find out it's like a little banter.
Yeah.
You know, you give me shit, I'll give you shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was all good.
The worst one I ever got, I'm not going to say where, but it was actually in boxing. And someone yelled from the audience, "Kill the nigger."
Oh,
Like, my wife's heard it. She goes, "Who said?"
is that?
What made it funnier is that the guy I was fighting was blacker than me. So. But it's just like you just wonder what the heck goes through people's minds.
Yeah, I know. It's just easier for them to say it from far.
And you end up, how many games for the Kiwis did you play?
27, I think.
And how many for Tonga?
2 for Tonga. 2 for Tonga. Yeah, that was a blessing one because when I was going through my real dark place, I had a bit of medical leave, so I didn't go back to the club. And then when I came back and played, I went and played reserve grade. And then that's when the week before, that week, they were picking the Tongan team. So they announced the Tongan team that day. And then the coach, Wolfie, didn't know that I was playing. And then the following day, I get a phone call saying, "Oh, I didn't know you came, that you were back playing."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, yeah." And he goes, "Oh, would you love to come into the camp and play for Tonga?" And I go, "Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely." So
Proud moment, eh?
Proud moment, man. Proud moment, especially for my parents.
Yeah.
When I told them, they started crying, man.
Really?
Yeah, different emotions when I told them when I was playing for the Kiwis and stuff. But when I told them that I was playing for Tonga, going back to play for my heritage, like they were crying. Because like they didn't force anything on me, whether to play for Tonga. I knew they wanted me to play for Tonga, but because I was playing for Kiwis, they just backed me.
Yeah.
But then, you know, their heritage is Tongan, so
Yeah.
for me to go back and play for their heritage, for our heritage,
Yeah.
it was something special. So that was mean.
You talked about the dark space, so let's talk about that, bro.
Yeah.
You know, playing all these games for Warriors and the Kiwis, when did things start unraveling?
Yeah, I think everything during my whole career, because I had heaps of injuries and then having heaps of ops, we're getting subscribed painkillers and stuff. And there were times where after the game, because we couldn't sleep, we were getting provided sleepers.
Yeah.
So I started abusing it. Started like just asking for it. And then when I had an op, I knew I was going to get heaps of painkillers. And started taking it like after games just for the sake of it, even when I wasn't injured.
What were these painkillers?
Tramadol, Morph, some other ones I can't remember. And then we're getting sleepers too.
Yeah, so like real hardcore morphine.
Hardcore stuff. And then, just started getting, I just like started taking it because I liked the feeling of it. And plus I could sleep. And then just got a bit too much. Started having a few of us players take it now and then, you know, catching up and having card games and doing all that stuff. And then I remember one time we had a game against Melbourne and we got flogged. It was 50-something nil or something. And then we came back and then the next day we had the day off and we caught up and started taking heaps of tramies and all that. And then we just went out one time into town, I think. I can't remember too much because some of the stuff that we took, we get a memory loss, eh? All I remember is getting called into the office and saying that someone called from this bar saying that you were out of it. And they think that you were on something. And then, the thing came out into the club, and the club kind of told us that, it'll be in-house. Nothing's going to go out to the public, so they'll deal with it in-house, and we're not going to play for the first grade. So we're going to go down and play reserve. And I think that week, a week or two later, it came out of the papers. I remember going shopping and coming back, and then my ex got a message from one of the partners. She showed me, and that's when
That moment in the car when she showed you, what was going through your mind when she showed you the picture?
Yeah, that's when she showed me the picture. There was 5 of us, yeah. But when I looked at the picture, because I was going through a lot, when I looked at the picture, that's when I snapped. I took off and just went to. I remember I took off and went to the shop up the road, bought me a packet of smokes, and just started smoking, trying to find a place to go. But I don't remember where. And I started driving, and then one of the boys drove past me and then started following me, started chasing me down. And I was trying to lose him, but he just kept following me, and then got to a place where in Manukau, the on-ramp going towards Kura and that, and then there was traffic, and then I stopped. And I sat there and I couldn't hear him knocking. But he kept knocking. And I think he yelled out my name, and that's when I heard, and that's when I broke down. Yes, it's still, it's always hard for me to talk about it because, I'm embarrassed about it because for me as a man, I never show those kind of weaknesses, and I never, go down to taking the easy route. You know what I mean? So for me to do that, it's hard.
Because you were thinking of just ending it.
Yeah, I was thinking of ending my life. I was thinking of taking my I don't know how, but that was the day I wanted to end my life. But yeah, he saved me, and for that I'll never forget it. So we went for a drive. He said he'll follow me, so we drove, and we drove down to the botanical gardens, and just broke down to him saying, "Bro, these guys broke my trust. I can't trust anyone anymore. I'm over everything. I'm done. I don't want to come back." So had a meeting with the CEO back then, and said I don't want to come back. So they came out of the news saying that I was on medical leave. It took me a whole month or so to come back. And then when I did come back, and it was okay. But I wasn't myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't that happy, laughing, and just felt like people were just tippy-toeing around me. Just don't want to say anything. And every time I looked angry or anything, they always go to Bodine. So Bodine Thompson, he was the
one that saved you.
Yeah. So they'll go to him and go, because I ended up living with him.
Yeah.
They'll go to him and they'll go, "Bro, can you go check on Manu, see if he's all right?"
And where to from there, bro?
Yeah, so from there, I stayed for a bit, and then my manager called me a few months later saying, "I've got an opportunity for you to go to England if you're keen." And I said, "Yeah, I'll be keen." Wanted to try something new, change of scenery, start fresh. And then I got a contract to go play for Salford Red Devils.
Yeah.
So I moved over mid-season after sorting everything out. And then I moved over and started playing there. And first, it was okay. Start, I was trying to find my feet again, trying to get my game back, still trying to recover from everything that I went through. And I came back, went to World Cup, and then flew back with my family the following year. Got there on New Year's Day. And then we started training. So we had a month and a half week of training before the season start. And on the last day of training, I ruptured my Achilles. And that's when everything kind of changed again. That's where I started like getting a lot of doubts in my head, and started talking to the club, seeing what's the plan. I had an operation, and then because this was the start of the season, they need someone to cover me. But because I was signed from overseas, they couldn't get anyone else from overseas because they had a quota. So then they started like doing things for me to leave, to come back home. But I didn't want to because I wanted to stay there and train and get back. And then there was just one time I went into training and they thought I was drunk. I had cover. It was my birthday the night before, and I had cover with some of the boys, and then I went all night and then went to training, and they thought I was drunk because I slept, and I woke up, did my training, and then had the meeting, said, "Oh, you broke the thing, and now we're going to terminate your contract." So then I called my manager, and me and my manager said we had to take them to court. So I took them to court and had to fight through that battle while I was there. But while I was there, I was having a lot of doubts, and it was easy for me to get my hands on some drugs. So
It was a lot easier over there, like to get coke and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, definitely easier. That's where I started indulging a lot when I was in England. I was staying up all night, couldn't sleep, so started getting drugs just to try and push me through the day, especially with my family. That was the most embarrassing and most heartbreaking thing, because I was doing it in front of, while I was there with my family. Definitely not proud of that. It still hurts me till this day, like thinking about it. But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, man, I know how much you love your daughters, eh?
Yeah.
Who are there then, and your son now. So I can imagine, thinking about how much it hurts you. But there's always a plan, bro. I always think if I didn't fuck up at everything and lose it all, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be helping you. Sometimes you got to lose it all to really appreciate.
Yeah.
And then to be able to then come back and help others. So, so you're over there, and that's things are starting to fall apart, and then you move back.
Yeah, moved back, and had my separation and stuff, and then I had to move in with my parents, stayed with them. Yeah, I was lucky enough to have that.
You can say it.
I got a phone call from Higgins.
From our one of my best mates, Dave
Higgins. Yeah, I got a phone call from him because I've caught up with him.
Yeah.
With Joe and that.
And he also loves a drink, so I'm sure you caught up with him a few times.
Yeah,
or he used
definitely.
to. He's changed now.
Definitely. Yeah, a few times. We used to catch up a lot, and then I was lucky enough to get a phone call from him and saying, it's an opportunity for a fight, and I was like, oh yeah, sweet as, I'll be keen. And I'm short of money, so anything will, just help me, give me a hand up. You know? So, and then he'll say it was you, and I was like, oh.
The funny
He goes, are you sure? He goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, all right then.
What did you think? No, honestly, what did you think when he said you're going to fight the Butterbean?
I didn't want to be honest.
Yeah.
But when you first fought my brother, I didn't really like you.
Yep.
Because of all those things that you were saying.
Yeah.
But then I think I met you once, and that changed my perspective of you.
Yeah.
You're totally different to what I saw on TV and what I hear when you're on the press conference and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why it changed me. And then I knew what you're doing. So, but then when I heard I was fighting you, I was like, oh, bro.
we're already like, it was funny. It was funny because, you were my last fight. Your brother was my first fight. But yeah, like when we did that fight, we've never spoken about it actually.
No.
When we did that fight, it was my first one. Dave offered me this sort of, let's chuck you in the ring before Joe fights and try and motivate you to lose some weight. But you got to play this character, be a real asshole, real arrogant, only speak about yourself in the third person. And, you're going to call out South Auckland.
Yeah.
So, jumped on a scale, called out South Auckland. Scale said error, couldn't weigh me, it was too big. And, and the people lost their shit. And people kept nominating horse. And I remember Monty Beetham called Dave and said, do not let your friend fight horse. He's going to get killed. And it was funny because at the weigh-ins and the press conference, I'm speaking to your brother like no one's ever spoken to him in his life. I'm going to rip his head off. I'm going to do the world a favor. But I know his rep.
Yeah.
And I'm like saying to Dave, does he know I'm like mucking around? No, we can't tell him. Then I was like, oh man, I was genuinely.
I was honestly surprised that he didn't like actually punch you then.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he was trying to turn his life around then too.
Yeah, he was.
I was just like, I was scared, man, honestly. And I but at the same time, I sort of, I knew what I'd been through and no one else had, no one knew me. And I sort of knew what I'd been through. I was like, okay, at least the ring's got a ref and it's got rules and it protect me.
Yeah.
But I remember walking out to that fight and right before, and I'm shit scared, nervous. Everyone hates me. I'm fighting in Monaco. There's horse signs everywhere. MVP horse.
MVP horse. Yeah.
And I was so scared. But my friend PJ, who you've met, PJ, who was training with him, he pulled out a picture of my kids. Oh man, he pulled out a picture of my sons. He said, "That's what you're fighting for, to get your kids back." And it was a picture of Tavita, William, Fabian. And if you look closely as I'm walking out, I was crying, I was my tears in my eyes. And I said, "Fuck, I know what I'm doing." So I know what you're going through, So I know what I'm fighting for, And it's funny because then I got in the ring and I thought I'd lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
I thought I was looking good. I was starting to wear, stuff that could shirt. And I thought I thought I was looking good. And then I look at myself on the big screen, and I still had rolls hanging out everywhere, bro. I was going, oh man, I was got a lot of work to do. And you're looking at your brother, and he is ripped.
Yeah.
And you're in his corner, and I was going, oh man.
I was giving it to him in his ear. Like, stop bucking wrong, punch.
And that's when I got him on the ground and did the 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
I think that's when the whole butterbean thing was really born, eh? And and after, thankfully I won. It was really close, and thankfully he didn't knock me out. But we just hugged, and I said, "Look, man, there was nothing personal. I'm sorry." And we became friends after that.
Yeah, I know.
And then when we fought, I was at a total. I'd retired, totally different point in my life.
No.
In the community work and Dave, but again, I needed money. And then I thought, it'll be a great way to raise awareness for all of our work.
Yep.
That's the way they sold it to me too. I think, man, what did you get paid for that fight? Be honest.
I think I got 10 or 20. Something like that.
You got 20.
Yeah.
And I got $5,000. How the fuck does this work? But anyway, it was when I woke up in the ring after we fought, and like I always I joke around because when I woke up, Stephen McGiver's, Dave, no more. That's enough. Do not fight anymore. I said, don't worry, bro. That is it. There's got to be easier ways to raise awareness. It sucks losing. It sucks.
No, I know.
And I was right before the curtain, before you walk out, I got dressed, shower, and gone through the whole embarrassed. And I was just there, and it was actually a physio who I know. She messaged me about this when I put you on with us.
Yeah.
She goes, I remember that time seeing you behind the curtain after you got knocked out, and she asked me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "God's got the plan."
Yeah.
And then that plan's come to fruition.
Yeah, for sure.
Through a lot of pain. So you got into boxing, you knocked me out, and then what happened?
And then, so the night before, I think it was the night before, I got a phone call from the doc saying that I shouldn't fight you because I've got a brain cyst, a cyst on my brain. So I was just thinking to myself, oh fuck it, I'll just go out there. If I die in the ring, no, I wasn't scared of death. If I die in the ring, I'll die happy because I died in something I love.
That's where your mind was at, eh?
That's where my mind was at. I was still recovering from like everything that I was going through. And then, I wasn't afraid of death. And then, going into, I never told my family, I never told Monty and that. I went up about that phone call. And then, for some reason, I was about to have a few more fights after that. I think I was supposed to fight Hodges and Jan. And then my last few, and then
maybe
at the end of the following year, I was going to fight, try to have a fight with Paul Gallen.
Yeah, when I actually heard that you had that injury, so I said, oh, fuck, I better not.
Just take it easy.
I don't want to do that to him. I said, Manu, I'll just give you the wink. All right? That's when you hit me. But then you ended up, so you're not fighting anymore, eh?
Yeah, for some reason my family got a hold of what was wrong with me, and they told me not to do it anymore. So that's when I pulled the plug on that, and it took a toll on me because that was my lifeline. You know what I mean? Jumping back in the ring and having a fight again. And then I just wasn't sure what I was going to do next. Monty was still helping me out. Then he found me a job at doing panel beating, and I started doing that for a bit. But then
it's crazy, bro, when you think about this. People watching it, man, this guy was up here.
Yeah.
And then you end up being, working as a panel beater.
Panel beater, yeah.
And when we do our speeches, we talk about how you went from this, and it shows a picture of you and the Warriors, the Kiwis, to this, a picture of you in court.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How did that all happen?
So, I was working. Thought I'll give it a go.
On the pipe?
On the pipe.
Meth. What happened?
I just got a real good buzz on the day. Like, all my feelings and everything disappeared. And all I felt was just me being, like, chilled and like, having fun again. Yeah. Don't remember anything, like, don't have no feeling of anything. And just, and then my first time doing it, and then I couldn't sleep, and then I kept doing it again. And one thing I still remember on I think it was my third or fourth day, up all night, started seeing things. And there was one time I thought I saw the devil. Like, just being straight up honest, I thought I saw the devil. And then started hearing things and started like hallucinating sometimes. And then I think the longest I was out for was for a whole week.
Up for a week?
Yeah. So, and that's when I started knowing that I was starting to get addicted to it. And then I was trying to stay off it, like have a good sleep, and then I wake up, try not to take it, and then, it was just right there. And so I just grab a rock and just chuck it in there and just keep going. And I think it just got worse and started doing stupid things. And then I remember one time, I'm real embarrassed about it. I guess. I actually took a shot of it. A blast, yeah. And that was a different feeling. Way better hit.
Yeah.
Not way better, but like, it just made things worse for myself. Yeah. So I just wanting to get even more. And then, I think few things later, a few months later, my parents' house got raided. a couple of weeks before that, that's when I started trying to change myself. Try to get myself out of it. Started training, and I started doing. Started studying. I had a meeting with a guy from LJ Hooker, who wanted me to give real estate a go, and that's when I started trying to have a meeting with them. And then that day, I went home. That morning, I went home after training. I went home, and then maybe 15 minutes afterwards, our house got raided.
So now you said it's not that you got raided, it's where you got raided.
Yeah. I got raided my parents' house. Yeah. Not happy with that. To put my dad and my mum through that, just embarrassing, eh? Because that was a house for them. And for me to go home and do that kind of stuff. I think my mom knew what was happening, but she never stopped me. She just wanted to make sure I was safe. And she always tells me, I remember she always used to say, bro, don't come and eat. Because she knew I wouldn't eat because I was on the stuff. And she was always protecting me every time. She was always protecting me. And my dad was real old, so he didn't really know too much. So, my mum was the person that was there that was protecting me every time. So, for me to do that there, still finding it real tough. First was doing drugs and stuff, and being around my girls when I was there, and then now this. It's just real hard, yeah. I just wanted to. That was the end of it again. So I was just lucky I got caught, because I think I would have been worse, at a worse place right now, or not here.
Oh, man. Yeah, lucky I got caught. Yeah, it's really was lucky you got caught. Where do you think you'd be if you didn't?
I don't know. Still be doing what I'm doing, what I was doing. Wouldn't be
All dead.
Yeah. So I think it was a blessing. Well, I'll always say, it was meant to be for me to get to be inside. I fought against it for 2 years, against my charges.
Yeah.
People saying, "Oh, bro, you should say this, say that." But I just wanted to get over and done with. Yeah. I was over it the first year. I was on the run for a bit when I was on Home D. I went on the run for a week and a half. I went to One Love. Started doing stupid things there, and then came back, and then I handed myself in, and then lucky I got released the following day. So I cut myself lucky sometimes. Wasn't on the bracelet, just got a curfew, but I was still doing what I was doing, still drinking, still doing all the stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. But I was just over it.
Yeah, because I would follow you. We weren't friends. We knew each other, but I was following you on Insta, and I see some of the stuff. Go, what's this guy up to?
I think I was on Now. I think it was a thing on Face.
Yeah,
and
people were sending it to me.
I was just drinking.
What was that like? You were on Inu Now, and you were just.
I was just going live because I was bored. I couldn't leave the house. I was I think I was 9 to 7.
Yeah.
So I had to be home at 7 at night, before 7 at night, and then I couldn't leave the house until 9 in the morning. So I was bored, and then I was drinking, and I knew I was still in my drinking bus because I was going through my stuff. And drinking was the only thing that will keep me sane. And then I started drinking, and it was just getting worse. And then I was going on live just for the sake of it. And I started arguing with people and started like doing stupid things. Sometimes I look back at the videos and I'm like, oh, bro, what was I doing? I was gaining weight.
Yeah.
I think I was 140 something, almost 150 then. So, but yeah, I remember one time I met with you. We met at the cafe, at that cafe. And
Around from work.
Around from work, yeah. I think I was there for coffee or feed, and then you walked in to grab your shake or something.
Smoothie, yeah.
And then you told me to come for a visit at your guys' gym.
Yeah.
And I came for one session, and then, that was the last time I saw you until I saw you again when I was inside.
So getting locked up, you've said it, prison, it saved you.
Yeah.
And which I guess is, it's actually meant to make you better, so it's good it worked. But what was that like going in there?
Yeah, so when I was going for my sentencing, everything was getting delayed, was getting pushed back, postponed. And then I was lucky that, because they said, November we're going to have your sentencing. And then I was like, oh man, I'm going to miss Christmas with my kids, knowing that I'm going to go inside. And then they said, oh no, it's been postponed to March 2nd, the following year. And I was like, oh bro, I'm over this.
Yeah.
Like I was exhausted, I was mentally exhausted. I was over everything. I just wanted to hurry up and finish. And then that day, I went to test myself because I think that's when during COVID.
Yeah.
And I had to test myself just to make sure that I was negative, but I was positive, but I didn't tell them. So I went to court with COVID and then got sentenced. And to hear me going inside, I kind of knew. And then my family was there, my sisters.
How did they take it, bro?
I could hear them crying, my older sister. So I didn't want to turn around because I didn't want to cry because I knew the TV was there and the stuff was there. And I'm really emotional. I'm a really emotional person, especially like coming to my family, talking about my family and stuff. But I didn't want to turn around too far. And look at them. Yeah. I just looked at them real quick and just waved at them and walked off. But I regretted that because I wanted to see them because I knew I was going to go away for a while. So to see their faces again, I would have like, that's the one thing I regretted when I went in. And then, I went inside and got tested when I went to Mount Eden to get stripped down. And he's seeing it on TV, but to squat, cough, so spread your cheeks and stuff. So it was a bit hard, but that's what I put myself in. And then I got tested, and then I had COVID. I was positive, and then they put me in the isolation unit, where I was locked down for 24 hours for 12 days. So I was just in my cell by myself for 12 days,
Did that make the transition into prison easier or harder?
First day, I was just exhausted. I wasn't too worried about where I was at until I woke up. I think it was the second or third day. That's when the realization that I lost my freedom, hit me, and then I couldn't have any contact with my family, no one, for that first week. And then when I finally got my phone call, it wasn't a normal phone call. It was the gap under the door.
Yeah,
they just put a phone there, put on speaker, and dialed the number. And I was just lying on the floor talking to my family. And my first phone call to my partner, because we just had my son then. So I was born. So I went on the 2nd. My birthday was on the 4th. And then my son was born on the 5th.
So you missed
out my son's birth. So that was hard for me too. But it didn't hit me until I said the second day, when I was like wondering if she had birth to my son. And then I got my first letter from her saying that, my son, all the details about my son. And I just broke down there. So I think I was the following week I got the letter, but she wrote that letter on the day he was born. And to see like healthy boy, was pounds, 9 pounds something. He's good. Yeah, but I was a bit upset because I wasn't there for him. So yeah, it was it's a bit tough. But that's what motivated me.
That was
to
the
change.
moment. That was the moment.
That was the moment for me. When I got her letter, that was the moment for me that, you know, I need to get over my shit and start changing. Because I need to be out there for my boy. Because, you know, having girls, you know, can teach you, like, I've been there for my girls and stuff. But to have a boy, you know, I need to show him my partner can't show him that.
Yeah.
I have to show him how to, just like how my father did to me and to my brother. So for me not to be there was a bit tough.
What did you say to yourself then when you got that letter?
Because I was battling through a lot of demons in my head.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're fucking, like, bro, you're like, just
critic.
everything, inner critic. Just everything in my head. And then when I got that letter, that's when everything just blocked off, just went away. And I'll go, bro, you got to pull yourself together and keep moving forward. You got to start doing something now. And then I started like doing a little few exercises inside, some push-ups, whatever I could do, some dips and stuff. So that's when I started like, bro, I got to just work hard.
Yep.
If I'm here for my whole 3 years, and all good. I just got to make sure when I get out, I'm changed.
Yeah.
I'm a better person. Yeah. Started fighting all the demons and I'm all cleared now. So.
That's awesome, bro. And then we met in prison. It just happened to be. I got invited there to speak. So you'd heard I was there speaking?
Yeah, I heard that you're coming in. I think it was the day before. They said that, oh, Dave's coming in to talk to the culture wing. And I was like, oh, man. And plus, because as you can see, you walk in the glass doors and you can see through everything. So that morning I was coming out and I was training and they go, oh, Dave's here. And I was like, oh. So I thought, oh, yeah, I'll come and say hi.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to kind of, to take the courage to come up to the door and knock and say hi to you.
Yeah.
And then I did that. And then after that, they said, oh, Dave wants to talk to you. And I was like, oh.
You didn't really want to talk,
I didn't want to talk. I didn't really want to talk. But then, you know, I thought I'd take the courage to come out and talk to you. And then, but yeah, my brother was there too. So he wanted to talk to me and my brother. So we came out and spoke to you. But yeah.
It was a good conversation. I also said to, you know, to connect your family to me, eh?
Yeah. You told me, you told me to, if your family ever needs a hand with anything, to let them know, to message you. And he gave me his your number and stuff, your contact. And then I just thought, oh, we'll give this a test, eh?
Yeah.
And then I rang my sister and goes, hey, Dave said they'll help you with whatever you need, if need hand with anything. Message him, eh? And then my sister messaged you, and then straight away I think the boys went over with boxes of food, like groceries and stuff. And then she goes, oh, and then I think you said, oh, if you ever need anything else. And then I think my sister asked you for a wheelchair because my dad couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And then you just gave them a wheelchair too. And I was like, oh, bro, this guy's the man. Like, kind of maybe appreciate you a lot more. Because, you know, when you're in there, that's when you kind of see the real people that's there to support and help you. And that's what I appreciate heaps. That's why I owe you a lot, man, for everything that you have done, especially for my family. Knowing that me and my brother wasn't there, it was hard because we're the only two boys and no one's out here to protect my family and to help provide for them. And for you to do that it meant a lot for us. So, yeah.
It's always true, bro, eh? Like, you know, we always say, you just got to look around when you're at the bottom. Yeah. Look around.
100. Yeah, I did look around. And wasn't much people that was there when I was doing well, but
Yeah.
That's part of it. I think it was just him trying to refresh me into, you know.
It's all part of the plan, bro. God's plan.
God's plan, yeah.
You know, when I said to you, I was you know, really frank. I said, look, if you want to change, we're running these youth programs, and you know, all these different things. So if you want to change, come and see me, and stop hanging out with fucking idiots. I say that to everyone I meet.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want to hang out with me, you want to be around us. I don't hang around fucking idiots.
Yeah.
You know, so anyone with me is 100% on this wagon.
On the wagon, yeah.
But I only opened the door.
Yeah.
You still had to walk in.
Yeah, 100.
And you've still had to do all the work.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, you came in and saw us.
Yeah.
And what was that like, bro?
Yeah, that was all good. Like, so when I came in, and I think we were talking about something else, but then we had to sit down, a proper sit down, and go, bro, if you ever need somewhere to go or work, bro, come here, we'll look after you and stuff. And then I just give it a go, like, you know, just come hang out with Phil and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I'll come and check it out. So I was coming, just shadow Phil and see what he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, start off like that, and I think I was seeing all the work that he was doing. I think the attitude and fit was on me.
Yep.
And then the other FTC program was on too. So I think it was the second week. I think they were in week 9 or 10.
Yep.
When I came in, and then that was eye-opening. You know, you see it on social media and stuff, but when you get to physically be part of it, I think have a different perspective on what you guys do.
Yeah.
Especially with the type of people you work with.
Yeah.
But that's and then I started part-time, and then after that we had a chat, started part-time, and then a week later he kind of offered me my full-time, and never looked back after that.
Yeah.
So
you had your first Christmas. I think it's been good for you to serve, right? To give back.
Yeah, give back. I think it's always been something that I've always loved. Give back is always something that I've been installed with my family, is to give back, and helping others. Even when we were at the Warriors, you know, giving back to our community, especially to the fans that come out. We used to go to schools and do all that stuff. So, you know, something that I've always loved to do. And then for me to come in this was awesome for myself. I think it was fitting because it was part of training. Yeah. And the training was something that I always used to do. And plus you're giving back to the community and helping people too. But you know, there was something new to me with the FTC program. It's totally different
from the couch.
From the couch, so it was totally different ball game for me. I had to learn a lot, and you know, through James and Phil teaching me, you know, all the little things that I had to watch out for and make sure, keep an eye on this person, you know, just because of the safety and stuff. So just don't know what could happen to them. So that was something new, but when you see them grow into something else and see them change, it fills your cup heaps. And that's what I love about it.
How's BBM helped you, bro?
They've helped me heaps, especially with getting back into the community. You know, when I first came out, just being judged by everyone. That's all the head noises again coming back again. You know, when you're inside, you never get judged by anyone. Yeah. The only thing you get is by having banters and stuff. But when you come out, it's totally different. You have the media, you have everything else that's going to scrutinize everything that you do, and all the eyes is on you. And if you do a mistake, they'll just get scrutinized, you know, and being judged with what I did. And that's what kept me home for a whole month until I got the confidence to come in and start with you. But, you know, being at BBM, there was no judgment. Everyone treated me normally. So it kind of took me out of that and feeling a bit more comfortable being around everyone again. And, just got my confidence back. Just knowing that I'm not the only one that's going through something too. And just came that realization that, you know, I'm not the only one that's going through something. Someone else is going through something even more tougher. especially being through with the FTC, with the From the Couch program. But yeah, just and then going on with me and you,
Public speaking.
You've opened a lot of doors for me. You know, with celebrity speakers, getting to meet people that I would never think that I'll ever get to meet. Getting those opportunities, and then just giving me real good advice. You know, people can use you for your story, and you know, people just taking advantage for their own sake and not for you. So you've always given it to me. You never take anything away from me, and that's what I appreciate about it. And that's what you know. I just see things differently now. You know what I mean? If anyone asks me for something, I always make sure it's for the right reason. And what do I gain from it? Because like we've both got to have something in it too.
I think a lot of the times you were just getting leveraged and used a lot. And so that's why it's good. Like, I mean, it's amazing, bro, that I'm able to, you know, to do that for you, where people, you know, where you can just direct people to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can just make sure that it's for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of you, bro.
Oh, thank you.
So, I remember getting, you know, when I did a post, and you know, people got, you know, you get the haters.
Yeah.
So, why are you hiring a drug dealer?
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm not. I said, I'm hiring someone that can help people not go down that path. You know, that lived experience, and because, you know, I mean, you're still a hero to us. You know, yeah, you've made a mistake. We all make mistakes. You know, but it's about, you know, being able to, you know, give you a hand up. And I always think that, you know, the rebuild of your story, of the rebuild you're having, is far more inspiring than when you made the Warriors or when you made the Kiwis. You know, this part of the story is more inspiring. You know, and it's only the beginning.
Yeah.
You only just begun.
Yeah. And that's why I always find it hard every time, It's like people can easily just scrutinize just one mistake that you've done and forget about all the good stuff that you've done. And I've had friends like that. You know, I've had friends that has turned on me, and I've had friends that haven't. You know what I mean? So I was like, what have I done to you? What have I done anything bad to you? So it's always like, oh, okay, if you don't want to be part of my life, it's all good.
Yeah. I always think like, you know, I remember telling Phil, Phil was, I want to come train with you, and you know, Phil ended up losing 150 kilos. I said, yeah, you can. Of course, you know, come and do what I'm doing, be around me, but anyone you're hanging around with that's inviting you out to eat crap, drink crap, knowing you're almost dead, yeah, cut them.
Yeah.
And I'd say, if they're your friends, they'll support you. If they don't support you, they were never your friends, so fuck them.
Yeah.
You know, so all those people that were your friends before that aren't, no, who gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, like,
yeah.
I think now you've found your circle.
Yeah.
And you got to keep it small.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of people, but who we spend time with, it's small.
Yeah.
You know, I think we have to keep it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I always think you got to earn the right. You've got to earn the right to be in our circle.
Yeah.
You know, like, because we can't afford to hang out with fucking idiots.
Yeah.
You know? What's your life like now compared to before? You happy, brother? You happy where the things are?
Yeah, happy. You know, you still have challenges here and there, but I'm in a place where I can overcome it. So it's much easier because I'm around some good people, especially when I had my shoulder operation.
Yeah.
I went through just recently. Yeah. I had a shoulder operation, and I was in pain and taking painkillers and stuff again. And I remember me being abusing it a lot, and I had a lot of flashbacks when this time I took it, and it was like I was struggling through that whole week, having started having flashbacks on what I went through before and all this and that, and then I had to wean myself off it, and sometimes I was fighting through the pain just so I didn't have to take the painkillers, but then it got a bit too much, then I would just take it. But then, you know, I had to come back to work because I was like, bro, I can't stay at home because I was just doing my head in. But it just shows, like, you know, when I came back to work, I was in a better space. And it just shows, like, you know, surrounding yourself with the right people can, like, make you excel and make you feel better. Yeah. And that's what I've been doing. So I'm way better place now, way better place. You know, family's happy. You know, I go see my girls. You know, number 7 on the way now.
Machine. The beast.
Hey, Father Abram, but you know, I just count that as a blessing. You know what I mean? So, you know, if God bless me with another child, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You know, so now I just got to work even harder, and it's my motivation every time now. And now I just got to be a better example for my kids. I'm showing that, you know, no matter what I went through, I can always bounce back.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned from you. You know, when you get knocked down, you get back up and keep going forward. That's what I'm trying to do every time.
Yeah.
If I go through a bad day, I'll just get back up and just keep moving forward. Not gonna let that, not let that take me back. Any steps. I'm just gonna keep moving forward no matter what.
Is that the main bit of advice? Just last question. What's the one thing you would tell someone that's out there watching this right now?
Something I've always had when I was playing is never give up.
Yeah.
And that's always what I've had. And that's why I said, like, I find it real hard when I went through wanting to end my life, is I gave up. But my message to the kids and stuff was never giving up. And for me to do that, like, it hurts me, you know what I mean? Because that was my message every time. That's why I hardly say it. But now I've got to try and live it now. So I'll never give up every time. So if I go through a hard time, I'll never give up. We keep going. So, you know, I got to be that strong person and know that, you know, I'm here for a better thing. Yeah. And, you know, I've got more things in my life that I can live for and help others. You know, it's like we always say, it's God's plan.
God's plan.
God's plan.
Yeah, 100%, brother. I'm so proud of you. Next year we start our prison program. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah, I know.
We got invited to prison.
This time for something good. This time for something good.
You know, we start our prison program. We start our school tour. You know, we just got another sponsor that's going to happen. Annette Presley, thank you very much, as well as Trust Motors. So that's happening. Sky's the limit for us, brother. I'm so proud of you. And just keep smashing it, man. No excuses.
No excuses, my brother. All day. Thank you, bro.